I heard we are live, so everybody out there being heard on Facebook Live, hello, and we'll get started. All right, so Rodney, how does this go? Welcome to the Brownsburg Seventh-day Adventist Services on this what day is this? On this, the 29th of November, 2025. Yes. It is good to be here. It is. And just think those poor people in South Florida are going to miss. They're going to miss the first snowfall of the year. We're going to miss it. I feel sorry for them. I really do.
I get to put my boots on this afternoon.
Exactly. You put the boots on and everything. Is there any better place to be than right here?
This is the best.
This is the best. Absolutely
Everybody
the best.
that's here.
Don, if you're out there, Don, if you're out there, we're missing you, man.
I don't know if he knows how to get on the thing yet.
All right, so let's see. Last week the chili cookout was awesome.
Yes, it was.
It was awesome. And Rodney, you played a big role in that. I think I'll bet we had 2/3 of the church was at the cookout. And Susan's place was perfect setting for doing that. And it was really good fun. I was disappointed my chili didn't do as well as it should have, but that's okay.
Yeah, I thought mine was the best, but I got one
Get the
more.
votes, yeah, exactly. So, next year. All right, so Thanksgiving. Everybody had Thanksgiving?
Yes, with my sons-in-laws.
Sons and in-laws, okay, very good.
And because I had done a Peru trip, there was lots to talk about.
Awesome. So what was one topic you talked about?
Just mostly the trip to Peru.
Trip to Peru,
The
yeah.
differences there and here. And
Yeah. So we had about 15 people at our place.
50.
15.
Oh, 15.
15. One on. Good morning, young lady.
Good morning.
Pick up seats.
Well, full house, open house.
Yeah, pick a good seat before the rest of the
I
crowd
know,
comes
right?
in. All right. And so right now we're just talking about Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Okay. So Thanksgiving we had about 15 people and it was all good. What did I talk about? So it's really interesting. This is my takeaway. It is very interesting as we age. You'll see kids. So my nieces and nephews have went from 5 years old to
25.
yeah.
You got
And
your
so-
own kids.
And so it was really interesting just stepping back a little bit and observing how now their conversations are hugely adult conversations, and it's like, oh man.
So it was an interesting experience though. I'm sitting next to my son's mother-in-law.
Yes.
So we're the same age. And we've eaten and dinner's been over and my son and his wife decided they want to go for a walk around the lake that's near that place. And I know that. And then his daughters are going to go with them and walk. And I'm getting nervous because I love to walk. And I'm sitting there. I want to stay with her and the group, the older ones there.
Yeah.
But I want to go out and walk.
Well, do the walk, yeah.
So she finally says, "You like to walk, don't you?" That's what I needed.
So there was. That brings up one thing from my Thanksgiving. So our dogs, I'm like you. So my dogs at 5 o'clock they walk, and so at 5 o'clock I said, well, to my wife, I said, damn, I should probably take the dogs for a walk. No, that'll get bad host. Bad hosts don't do that. Oh, come on. All right. Anything else from your Thanksgivings?
I went downtown. My aunts came in town, one from Florida and 3 are here in Indianapolis. And the one from Florida, she's a nurse practitioner. She came with the idea of, let's make a huge pot of chili spaghetti and go downtown and feed the homeless. And I mean, everybody's probably done it once at some point in their life, but when's the last time you've actually done it, lately?
Yeah.
And so, you think about it, and all you can think about is the food that you're getting ready to eat and we're preparing for yourselves, but you don't ever think about,
Yeah.
downtown. So we made a huge pot of spaghetti, put it in a container in the car. We had the to-go containers and buttered some bread.
Yeah.
And it was real simple, just spaghetti and bread and a to-go container. And we drove downtown. We just went literally by Methodist and, turned a few corners, and the amount of people that were down there, it was so cold. The streets are normally full, during the week you can't get through there with your traffic. It was so cold, and people were literally out there with blankets wrapped around, walking around in, downtown. So it was just a really good feeling. I had my daughters with me, they were in the back seat. They're like, Mom, when are we gonna eat? We're like, this is the point, there's people out here that don't have food and it's cold. They're like, you mean they sleep out here? There's, blankets, and they had tubs, and they're like out here outside? And I'm like, yeah, like it's cold, like you have a house, you have to be grateful.
Yeah.
So it was just one of those lessons, even as adults, the aunts and all of us were like, we've all done it at some point, but lately we hadn't done it recently. And we really hadn't planned it where we kind of did them first, but the way it rolled around and God did it, our food that we were making wasn't really ready yet. But what we had made for them, we had prepared it early that morning, so it was ready to go. So we had no choice. We went out while it was hot, went out in the streets. So before we even considered eating, it was just something about feeding someone else, the gratification of them eating when it was cold. And they were so happy they ate. Some of them just opened it right there and were like they weren't wasting any time. So it felt really good to do that. And it didn't cost much, spaghetti in a pot, and bread, and just, it was a huge pot. I don't know, maybe anywhere from maybe 50 people. So just for a few people, a few women and a few kids, we were out there doing it just cold, and we're out there shivering and like, okay, it's time for us to eat later. But it was a blessing. God just literally opened up my eyes to every time you do it, you learn something new and touch somebody.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Monday.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, there you go. You get your taste every Monday.
Anything else from this week, you guys? Anything else? Anything else go on this week? So I'm doing this, good morning, sir.
Good morning, dear brother.
It is good to have you here.
Yes,
We were a little weak on this side, this side we're getting full strength. All right, now we're there.
yes.
I'm doing this, it's really interesting, I'm doing this little heart association challenge for the month of November. I swim a lot, so it was like, swim 100 laps, and I swim a lot.
You swimming, you said?
Yeah, for swimming, yeah, you have like this little artificial goal, 100 laps, it's not me, but it's like, I swim 40 laps at a time, so it's like 100 laps is no big deal. So I said, I just want to make sure I do 500 laps this month. And so, it's really no big deal.
Yes,
So you have this artificial goal, and it's like, well, it's really just me that really cares, but you set these goals, and it does motivate you, and so it really is good in our lives to always have certain goals, because it does make a difference. Even if it's just with yourself,
Yeah.
you go, ooh,
I don't set goals.
I still have 40 laps to go. That means Monday is my, I gotta get it in on Monday, So, so that's gonna be
We'll interfere.
one of the things in my week, Okay, anything else?
About what was talking? Sorry, I just came late.
Say that again?
I just came and answered the question.
Okay.
What are you guys talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry. So right now we just kind of talked about Thanksgiving. We talked about kind of what we did. We talked a little bit about the chili cook-off, which was really good. And now we're just saying anything else that was going on this week that you wanted to share. So that's where we are right now.
There's I'll share my Marisa's nephew. He's suffering from kidney failures ever since he was 10 years old. Now he's 25. So we've been praying for him every morning, 4:30 in the morning. So that is comforting us also, because we are in prayer, all the family. So it's
Yeah.
nice getting together.
Is he getting good care?
Well, he's waiting for a transplant. They were waiting for a kidney donor, but there is no kidney donor in Peru. They're in Peru. So his sister is offering. Now his sister offered to donor
Wow.
his
To
kidney.
donate this to-
Yeah, so they noticed, I think the kidney didn't develop as he grew up, it stayed tiny.
Really?
So one of the kidneys already failed, it's no more, and the other one, he's already having all the dialysis, what you call that, clean. But it's been long, 50 years that he's
Oh,
been,
yeah. Especially for
so,
a young person. Because, like, I think when you do dialysis, you sit there for like 8 or 10 hours. You're just,
so he's,
yeah. Well, we'll pray.
we pray, thank you.
Yep, very good. Okay, anything else? If not, we will move on to the lesson. Hey, quiz. The quiz.
Yeah, thank you, finally, long time ago with you, Chris.
What would be the lesson without a quiz?
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. We'll pose the quiz questions now. You can answer them, but then we'll come back at the end of the hour and we'll go back through the quiz. All right. Who were the Canaanites? And how did they get started?
Oh, is Canaanites from the Esau descendants?
The who?
Esau, Jacob's brother. Esau, Jacob's brother.
The Canaanites. We'll talk about Canaanites in a bit.
Okay.
Okay, so we're the Canaanites. Okay? Sticking on that, where is the land of Canaan? Today, if you had to go up, I gotta go out to Indy Airport and go to the land of Canaan, where would you go?
Is it near
Israel.
Egypt? Egypt, near Egypt. Is it near Egypt?
We've got Egypt,
North of Egypt,
north of Egypt, which would be
along the Mediterranean Sea.
along the Mediterranean Sea.
What is now Israel?
It'd be what is now Israel. So it would be bordered by the Mediterranean and Jordan, north of Egypt, and kind of Turkey. Okay? So you're right. So it's really primarily Israel, Syria, and a smidge of Turkey. Okay? All right. What is a jubilee?
What's a jubilee?
A jubilee?
Every 50 years.
It's every 50 years, right?
50 years, yeah.
The jubilee.
Everybody gets to go back to what they originally owned.
Okay, very good. We'll cover that a little bit more. That's exactly right. Who were the first people to lose the land that God had given them? Who were the first people to lose the land that God had given them?
Canaanite.
I don't remember.
The Canaanite?
No.
No? Because they were there, because
Yeah, but
God
not before
permitted
that.
them.
That's before then.
Oh,
Oh, Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve, very good, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking
Weren't
that far back.
thinking that far back.
Okay, here we go. True or false?
yeah.
True or false? True or false? The promised land was a gift from God.
Yes.
True.
Yeah.
True.
True. All right, that's an easy one. What is a sabbatical year?
Has that ever said?
Sabbatical
The year that the land had to be left untouched.
The land is left untouched.
Yeah.
How often? Like every other
Every
year?
7th year.
Oh, every 7 years.
That's why sabbatical.
I got that one. Yeah.
The promise that Israel would possess the land forever was conditional. True or false?
True.
True. Okay, very good. Good to see you, young lady.
See you at the end. Thank you.
You can like unwrap a little bit. It's warm and toasty in here. There's no snow at all.
He's coming soon.
It's coming soon near. It's coming soon near to a parking lot near you. Okay. How could the Israelites inherit the land?
I think the lesson said by taking possession.
They'll take possession, and they just had to walk in, right?
No, they had to do whatever it took to possess it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were people there.
Okay. Very good. We'll come back to that. That's good. What does the promise and fulfillment of the promised land have to do with us?
We're looking for a land. Not made with hands, in heaven.
We're looking for land.
New earth.
Is there any correlation between going to the promised land and our salvation?
Yes.
I read,
Yeah, we're going to the
I read
promised
something
land
today,
and
this week,
Jesus forever.
that the gospel of Jesus and the gospel itself are different. The gospel is the kingdom of God. That's with us even now.
Right?
So we have things to do even now in God's kingdom.
We do.
They wandered in the wilderness, we wander here on earth. We're wandering until he returns, so it's the same.
And we're wandering, and what did the Israelites
Trials,
have to do
tribulations.
to receive and maintain the promised land? What did they have to do?
Obey God.
Fight hard?
Accept him and his promises, yeah.
Keep
Accept it.
the law.
Keep the law, right?
Obey the covenant.
Obey the covenants. Have a relationship with God.
Yeah.
Okay? So, that's our correlation for salvation, right?
Yeah.
Kind of same idea, right? Same idea. That's why we studied this. Okay. All right, so, who were the Canaanites? We'll get started. Who were the Canaanites? The land of Canaan is occupied by modern Lebanon and Israel, plus parts of Jordan and Syria. The Canaanites are mentioned over 150 times in the Bible. What were the Canaanites, if you had to think of, Guillermo, describe the Canaanites in one sentence.
Evil people.
Evil people. What made them evil? You're right.
They didn't obey God. They worship other gods.
They were idolaters, right? Now, were they meek and mild people? No. They were very big people. They were fierce, right? They were big and fierce people. They were wicked, idolatrous people that descended from who?
Anakims. No, I guess I don't know.
Descended from.
Okay, they were descended from Noah's grandson, Canaan. Now, I only read this, so it's not like I know this. He was the son of Ham. So you had Noah, Ham, Canaan. Okay? Now, this goes in a little further. Why was Canaan cursed with Noah?
Noah cursed his son, yes. Ham.
So let's turn to Genesis. Genesis 9. You know, sometimes, you know, like you go, oh, you know, you hear these things forever. And here's why I'm kind of picking on this stuff. You go, the land of Canaan. And but sometimes, you know, it kind of flies right over our head how some of this happened. Okay? And so that's why I'm kind of teasing out just little pieces of this. Okay?
Chapter 9.
So let's go to Genesis 9, 20 and 25. I'll start actually at 18, okay? And so again, this is dialing this all the way back to go, what is the curse? What were the Canaanites? And remember, the Israelites were going to have that as their promised land, but they had to conquer the Canaanites. Okay, so that's why we're kind of backing up all the way to, well, let's understand who the Canaanites were. Okay? So here we go. Genesis 9, and I'm going to start in 18. The sons of Noah. The sons of Noah came out of the ark. They were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Ham was the father of Canaan. Okay? These were the three sons of Noah, and from them came the people who were scattered all over the earth. Okay? Verse 20. Noah, a man of the soil, proceeded to do what?
Plant a vineyard.
Plant a vineyard. Okay, so they get out of the ark. They're populating the world. Noah is a man of the soil. He plants a vineyard. Okay? When he drank some of its wine, he became drunk and lay uncovered in his tent. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father naked and told his two brothers outside. But Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it across their shoulders, and they walked in backwards and covered their naked father's body. Okay, you guys with me so far? Okay. Their faces were turned in the other way, so they would not see their father naked. When Noah awoke from his wine and found out what his youngest son has done, he said, what?
Cursed be Canaan.
Cursed be Canaan.
Wow.
The lowest slaves will be to his brothers. So there began the curse of Canaan, right?
The words were that powerful that it's just,
Very powerful, aren't they?
wow.
Very powerful. Now, what's next? He also said, verse 26, praise be to the Lord God of
Shem.
Shem. May Canaan be the slave of Shem. May God extend Japheth's territory, and may Japheth live in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be the slave of Japheth. After the flood, Noah lived 350 years, and Noah lived a total of 950 years, and then he died. Okay, so that gives us a little background, right? A little background on Canaan and the Canaanites, right? So they kind of started off on a bad note, right? And they were cursed. So then later on, the Israelites, this is going to be their promised land, right? Okay. So here we go with the lesson. You know, we start off with, if we start off with Joshua 13, let's turn to Joshua 13. Okay, Joshua 13, 1 to 7. Isn't it interesting as you read Joshua? If you guys had a chance to go through Joshua, it was like, you know, you thought you were maybe at a town hall meeting, you know. Rodney, you're going to get this much land over here. You're going to get this much land over here. And other, you know, you think you're at a town hall meeting, you know. That's kind of where we go. Okay, so Joshua 13, verse 1. When Joshua had grown old, the Lord said to him, "Whew, you are now very old, and there are still very much large areas of the land to be taken over." He's going, Joshua, you still got work to do. All right. This is the land that remains. And then it goes on. It goes on and on and on. Okay? You know, very descriptive about what land is still needing to be divided up. For example, verse 5, the area of Byblos and all of Lebanon, I think that's Lebanon, Indiana.
That's where they got their name.
Way back then, they were talking about Lebanon, Indiana.
It could be Middle East too.
Yeah, they were afraid from the raiders of Waitstown taking over Lebanon.
Yeah.
All of Lebanon to the east, that would be Westfield, from Baal Gad below Mount Hernon to Lebo. So on and on it goes, okay? Now, verse 6. As for all the inhabitants of the mountain regions from Lebanon to Mizrapath Main, that is, all the Syrians, I myself will drive them out before the Israelites. Who's that? Who's driving them out?
God.
God is, right? Were the Israelites, would you say they were a confident, positive people?
No, grumbling.
How would you describe the Israelites?
Just like people today.
Exactly.
Grateful, complaining.
Because think about all the stuff that happened to the Israelites. Around every turn, what? God is kind of taking care of them, right? But around every turn, it's like, oh, well, we're doomed. Well, we can't do this, right? And that's where we are here, right? I myself will drive them out before the Israelites. Be sure to allocate this land to Israel for an inheritance as I have instructed you, and divide it as an inheritance among the 9 tribes and half of the tribes of Manasseh. Okay, Manasseh. Okay. So the lesson says, through these concrete lists, God wanted to teach the Israelites that the land was not a dream. It was promised to them through a very tangible, measurable way, but they had to make that promise a reality by acting on it. What was that promise? What did they have to do?
They just have to obey God.
What's that?
Yeah, they just have to obey God.
So they could have said, you know, those Canaanites are pretty big people, we're just going to stand pat, right? We're not venturing in, right?
But God said, I will push them out with
Right.
hornets, something like that.
And they could have said, no, that sounds pretty risky, we're staying here. So what do they have to do?
Obey.
Exactly.
Seek God's will and then obey.
Seek God's will and obey, right? Have faith, right? At the end of the day, have faith and do what's commanded and they will receive, right? Is that true for us? Yes. So we can look at this, right? This is the part that I always find interesting. You know, we go, oh, those silly Israelites, what were they thinking? You know? How come they failed so many times? But then you go, well, that's us, right? That's us. We kind of know the whole book, right? We know how the story ends, but yet what? We go outside the door, and we fall down. Okay. Deuteronomy 1:18, see, I have set the land before you. Go in and possess the land which the Lord swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give them and their descendants after them. So did God want them to possess the land? Yes. Yes, definitely. He would have been tragically disappointed, wouldn't he, if they would have said, nah, we're not, you go ahead without me, I'm good, right? Very disappointed, right?
He was so disappointed the first time that he made him die in the wilderness.
Yeah, exactly.
It says at the bottom of this Bible, and in the bottom it says, running throughout chapters 13 and 19 and onto the book of Judges, is a refrain of Israel stopping halfway and possessing their inheritance. Cowardice and lack of faith led to compromise. As Israel became a stronger nation, many of these cities were conscripted into forced labor, but never completely dispossessed as God had commanded. The influence of these idolatrous people were one of the main contributing factors that led to Israel's downward slide into idolatry.
So that's what idolatry led to their downfall. That was just back then, right?
Whatever.
That was kind of a fad that came and went. That's not where we fall down, is it? So this is like the 9-inch softball. Okay, so you go, oh yeah, it's probably unlikely that we get up in the morning and pray to idols. Okay, I think it's unlikely. However, what would have replaced? This is the easy part. What would have replaced that?
Social media,
Today?
cell phones,
What would have replaced those idols with today?
television, all sorts of stuff.
What are some of them? You're rattling them off. You got the answer
So
key right
many,
there.
So many. So many idols, probably more than what they had.
You know, isn't it interesting? I find it interesting. So, you know, like when you drive around and you kind of go across the country and stuff, a lot of the smaller towns, the center of the town was what? You'll see a nice church, right? You'll see a nice church, and that's kind of where people gather. Now today, when you go into larger cities, what do you go, ooh, I recognize that in the city. Is it a church? What is it?
Government center.
Well, the government center, that's good. I was really thinking stadiums. You know, you drive into Indy, if you drive into Indy on 70, do you go, ooh, there's a pretty cool church over there? Probably not. You go, ooh, there's the Lucas Oil Stadium, right? And how many cities are that way? And so you go, well, what is one of our idols? It would be sports. And you know, it's easy to pick on things today, where you go, okay, let's just take today for example. You go, well, you know, it hasn't started snowing yet, but a lot of people are, okay, which I get it, you know, I get it. However, if people said, I've got free tickets,
Yeah, they'd be going.
you're gonna be 5 rows up on the 50-yard line for the Colts game on Sunday. Now there could be a foot of snow. Nah, it doesn't matter, we're going.
Or like Black Friday yesterday.
Or Black Friday, well, there could be a good deal at the mall.
Yeah.
That's snow. We'll make our way through that, right? But what happens when we go? I see a couple flags. Oops, count me out. Count me out.
I looked this morning.
Why
I said,
is
snow.
that? Why?
Why?
Let's just dissect that. And this is by no means to pick on people that aren't here, okay? But human nature, why is that?
Sin.
I don't know how to answer that because that doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Just that something in us that makes us want to do
What's that?
wrong. That one thing in us that makes us just want to, that other part of us that we love so much that got kicked out in the beginning, that it's just going to always be there, tempting us to do the opposite of what's right.
Yeah, I mean, it is the land of Canaan, right here we go, you know? Is it our priorities? I don't know, what do you think?
Because church is not a priority to most people anymore.
Right.
I think there's a lot to what you just said.
Yeah.
And and like I was not painting a very good illustration, you go into the cities now, and you don't go, here are the churches, and this is where people really gather, okay? And so it's lost
If
that
they have a free
priority.
lunch, you'll get them.
Right.
It's like downtown.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so it has become what? It has become, the devil has made
It's almost unattractive.
God and obedience and faith feel irrelevant, right? Like, oh, it's more important to go see the Colts, no matter what the weather is. You know,
Stay home and sleep.
right? So how do we change that mindset?
It's weird, even with COVID, because that changed us for so long. Even me with COVID, for so long, I used that as an excuse to get back to church. You know, even after things were clearing up and people, I think, still use, you know, we said it wasn't safe for so long. People virtually watch now and just never really came back. And that's an excuse. I had to tell myself to get to church several times. You know, there's nothing wrong. Go to church.
Right.
We have to fellowship and congregate.
You know, what you just said is worth its weight in gold. That if we're not careful, those habits, that you know, those what we think is short term become long term habits, right? Mercy.
So, in my experience, without giving any detail,
Uh-huh.
I had a habit that wasn't good.
Uh-huh.
And in our men's group, studying
Uh-huh.
about idols, when I labeled that habit an idol, then I was able to get rid of it. Because I know God says don't worship idols.
Yeah.
That made it relevant.
Call it what it is, huh?
Yeah.
Excellent point. And so then you go, the purpose of us studying is to discover that, right? Because you go, well, you know, if we were home sitting on our couch today, maybe not even in, we're on our couch today, we might not think about that. We're thinking about, well, you know, the big snow's coming yet, and well, I hope I get to the Colts game tomorrow. As opposed to going, you know, what I've really got going on here is an idol that I need to get rid of, right? Because we want to get to the
Promise.
promised land. Oh, very good. Very good. I've got to get to the promised land. Okay. All right, so we talked about Adam and Eve. What happened with Adam and Eve and their promised land? Well, how'd that work?
They lost.
They had one, they kind of had only one instruction, right? They didn't have a whole, 500 pages one, and then they messed up on page 385 where it said, I am Batman. No, what they have?
Just one.
They had one, right? One.
You have a choice.
They had a choice, just like we do, right? And so we can look at Adam and Eve and go, oh, what a bunch of crazies. They were sure weak people. But as soon as we walk out the door, we're equally, if not more so, right?
To relate it, they had an idol, the tree.
The tree.
It looked good.
They made the tree an idol, right? They made the tree an idol. And they lost.
Never thought of it that way, but to put it in perspective, so when Satan came, it was an easy deal.
Easy deal. And so if you're Satan, you go, ooh, let me chart that away. These people are easy picking, right? They are easy picking. They go for blame, right? They go for short-term gain, right?
Aesthetic.
Short-term gain. A little blame. All right, let's move on to Monday. What was the special relationship between God and Israel and the promised land? Let's look at Leviticus. I had spent some time in Leviticus. Leviticus 25. Okay. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus. Okay, third book of the Bible, 25. We'll just kind of wander through Leviticus 25. Okay, so we'll start at 1 and I'll kind of whisk us through that. There's some interesting things in here. The Lord said to Moses at Mount Sinai, speak to the Israelites and say to them, when you enter the land, I am going to give to you the land itself. The land itself must observe a Sabbath to the Lord. Pretty easy stuff, right? Mom, I'm going to give you this whole block over here. All you have to do is keep the Sabbath. See, pretty simple, right? No problem. You're going to go, I can do that, right? I can do that. Hey, that brings me back. I meant to say this in Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, okay? What's the real two-sentence statement on Thanksgiving? How did we get there? Okay, here it is. So people were disenchanted in England with how religious freedoms were taking place. They went to the Netherlands. It got worse in the Netherlands, so they said, 200 of us are going to pack up in a small boat and we're headed to the new land, right? They get to the new land and it's what? It's winter, because they're late. It's winter, so they get to the new land, they don't even get to get in. They spend 6 months on the boat, half of them die in the boat. Half of them die in the boat. They finally get off and then they start settling the new land. Now, if we say today, so just think about that commitment. That commitment, just think about what they went through. If somebody says to, if Pastor Ben comes up next week or 2 weeks when he's here, and he says, you guys, place is falling apart, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. We're headed to East Pakistan, and we're going by car. It's going to take us.
Why?
It's going to take us 2 years to get there. So I need all of you to pile in. Let's go. If we don't do it, our religious freedoms are gone. That's what these pilgrims did, right? It's pretty astounding when you think about that. Very astounding. Okay, back to Leviticus.
That's happening now.
So Lon, how are you getting that block? How are you getting that block just south of here? You are obeying the Sabbath, right? Okay. For 6 years, sow your fields, and for 6 years, prune your vineyards and gather their crops. Rodney, in the 7th year, what do we do?
Let it rest.
Let it rest, exactly. 7th year, don't do anything. Don't do anything. Don't prune, do not reap what grows of itself, or harvest the grapes of your unintended vine. The land is to have a year of rest.
And the land is to rest.
It's not very difficult. If you're a farmer,
Well, if you're a greedy farmer, might be difficult.
Yes, great farmers.
work for 6 years, take a year
Take a
off.
whole
Sounds
year
pretty
off.
good. Take a year off. Take a year off. In that by itself, is that quite a bit of faith?
Yeah. Mr. Whole crop.
In Peru, the people live in the mountains, they have that, they do that. They let it rest the land every 7 years.
Do they?
Yes, they do.
It's good for the soil to
They
regenerate.
rest, because they have different lots, some places, and every 7 years they need to rest.
What do you do with the crop? You let it pick it or you let it sit?
Let it sit,
Okay, so let's keep going. Verse 6. Whatever the land yields during the Sabbath year will be food for you.
Oh, food for you.
yeah.
There's
Food
the
for
answer.
you. For yourself, your male, your female servants, the hired workers, da 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 da, as well as for the livestock, blah 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 blah.
Oh, wow.
Whatever the land produces may be eaten.
Wow.
So what's the point of that? That's a big walk of faith. Big walk of faith, right? You've got agrarian people who are, it's tough being a farmer. I don't know if you guys know many farmers, but it's tough. It's really tough. Growing, making sure you got the right weather and rain and all that. And so now, here are these agrarian people that go, just chill, whatever the land produces, that's what you're living on.
But he also says somewhere there that the 6th year will produce a lot.
For 3 days.
It will produce a lot. The 6th year will produce, so that will.
If you worked hard, right? If you worked hard.
No, God, of course you got to work hard.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
every year you work hard, but the blessing of God's gonna be on the 6th year because He will produce a
In
lot.
abundance. So
Exactly.
that's
Abundantly,
your-
yeah. So it will cover you for the 7th
It
year.
will be covered for three years.
Oh, really? In the 6th year?
In the 6th year.
Wow. So you have to have faith.
Gotta have faith. Now, is this where we just go, this is easy to read? Does this fall into easy to read, hard to do, or easy to read, easy to do?
Yeah.
The Pilgrims, would it be easy to read, easy to do? Rodney, we're getting in the boat. Let's go. No. Isn't it? I mean, it's just amazing what people have been through. But we've got it tough. I mean, there could be, there could be at least 2 inches of snow today. There could be at least 2 inches of snow out there today, and it'll take us an extra 20 minutes to get home. We're sitting home, Rodney. We're sitting home, baby. The people in Mayflower, what an easy sail they had. Okay, the year of the Jubilee. The year of the Jubilee. Count off 7 Sabbath years, which would be how many years?
49.
49, right? Okay. So you go through 49 years, then have the trumpet sounded everywhere on the 10th day of the 7th month, on the day of atonement, the sound of the trumpet throughout the land. Woo. Consecrate the 50th year and proclaim liberty throughout the land to all its inhabitants. It shall be a jubilee for you. A jubilee. Each of you is to return to your family property and your own clan. The 50th year shall be a jubilee for year. Do not sow, do not reap what grows of itself, or harvest the unintended vine. So what's going on with the Jubilee? Sounds like fun. We're going to the Jubilee. What's the purpose of the Jubilee?
Well, to remind us that the land is not ours, it's God's.
It's God's, right?
Yeah, so he said that also we don't sell the land. I mean, it's not the land for selling, he's giving us for us to manage.
Ooh, good point. Did you guys catch that part? It's really not ours. We are just managing. That's a different concept.
The natives, they didn't own the land. Here in the US, they just work and then they move to another place. They didn't put fences,
Yeah.
you know.
And what happened after the Jubilee, let's say I had some land, I couldn't keep up my property, and Rodney took it over. Okay, and so Rodney had it for 20 years, and he grew happy. What happened in the Jubilee year?
I had to give it back.
Rodney has to give it back, right? Rodney gave it back to me in the Jubilee year. So that kind of reinforces that when God and the Israelites divvied out all this stuff, there was special rule, right? What did the Jubilee, why was the Jubilee important to the people? What happened in other areas where there was no Jubilee? Who ended up with the land?
The rich. The king.
The kings, the rich, the pharaohs, right? And then did good things happen when the pharaohs took it over? Not so much, right? Because their priority wasn't God's priority, right? Right? Okay, so let's keep going. The 50th year you shall be in the Jubilee for you. Do not read what wrote. For it is the Jubilee, and it is to be holy for you. Eat only what is taken directly from the fields. In this year of Jubilee, everyone is to return their own property. If you sell your land to any of your own people or buy land from them, do not take advantage of each other. You are to buy from your own people on the basis of the number of years since the Jubilee. And they are to sell you the land on the basis of the number of years remaining in the harvest crops. So there's some details in here. Do not take advantage of each other, but what? I'm at verse 17, 25:17. Leviticus 25:17. Do not take advantage of each other, but what?
Fear God.
But fear God. If we just read that verse every day, right, and we woke up and just said, don't take advantage of each other, but fear your God, I am the Lord your God, would it be a better place?
Definitely.
It could be a better place for all of us if we just got up and read Leviticus 25:17 every day, right? 18. Follow my decrees and carefully to obey my laws, and you will live safely in the land. That's what this whole thing is about, right? As we talk about going to the promised land, it's right there, right? That was for those silly Israelites. But how about us?
We need to respect,
It's the same thing,
we
right?
need to respect God. In many verses of the Bible, God says, I'm the creator. I made this, I made that, everything. So from God is all. So we don't own.
So what gets in the way? Man and ego? Rodney, you took over my land, and you're going, if I took his land, just think, I may be able to take Pat's land next. And there's some other land I got my eye on, right? And pretty soon your mind is not on God's will, right? And that's what happens to us. Right? Us, this is a mirror, it's not, it's all of us, right?
If we recognize that God is all the land creation, it would help us in having us the not problem with, sometimes when we have inheritance from our fathers, land, then that's when the children start fighting and we have issues.
Okay, let's whisk on here. Verse 23. The land must not be sold permanently because the land is mine and you reside in my land as foreigners and strangers. We are on this earth as what? Foreigners and strangers, right? It's not our place. Verse 25, if one of your fellow Israelites become poor and sell some of their property, their nearest relative is to come and redeem what they have sold. Okay. So, let's whisk on. We're going to come back to the quiz. Tuesday. We're only on Tuesday. We got 5 minutes. Look. Given that for centuries the Israelites had been living as slaves, their military skills were what? So this is, the Israelites are charged with what? They're going to take over the land of Canaan, right? They were slaves for 400 years, they were forever, they have no skills. The people who they were slaves to couldn't take over the land either. But what did the Lord say?
I'll give it to you.
I'll give it to you. Trust me, right? Trust me, we're going in. We're going in. Okay? Now a nation of former slaves is told to conquer the land that their former masters were unable to subdue. If they are ever to possess the land, it will be through God's grace. In God's grace alone, not through their own effort. What does that sound like for our salvation?
Not by works.
Are we going to get to heaven based on just how good we can be?
No. Can't happen.
It's not going to happen, right? It's not going to happen. It wasn't going to happen with the Israelites on how fierce or meager their ability to fight was, right? They weren't going to conquer Canaan based on their own abilities, right? It wasn't going to happen. But yet God said, what? We're going in. Trust. Have faith. Here we go. How'd it work? How'd it turn out?
It turned out well at Jericho, except there's another component. Trust and obey. They didn't obey.
They didn't obey.
They took
This
they took
is
the
a
stuff.
recurring theme with those silly Israelites, right? They just don't get it. Not like us. Not like us, right?
But they did trust and they saw it work.
Okay, so back to the quiz. 2 minutes. Who were the Canaanites?
The sons of Canaan,
And Canaan came
was the
from
son of Ham.
Noah. Noah,
Noah, Ham.
Ham, and Noah. Okay, all right. So why were the Canaanites? Why were the Canaanites cursed?
Because Ham looked at his father and then ran away and got help instead of covering him himself.
Exactly. Okay, very good. All right. What is the Jubilee? What is the Jubilee?
They're set free.
Jubilee.
50 years.
50 years. It's the 50th year. And what happens during the Jubilee? Everybody dances?
Yes.
A Jubilee. Music plays, people dance, and eat food. That's a Jubilee. No, Rodney says no. I was ready to go to the Jubilee. No.
It's a happy moment for everybody because everything will reset.
Everything is reset, right?
Reset.
Everything is reset, back to where we were. Rodney, you can't be kingdom of all this stuff. We're back to where we were.
No,
What was the purpose? What was the purpose of the Jubilee?
The lesson said to make everybody equal.
Keep everybody equal, don't let the pharaohs and the elites run the show.
Yeah.
Who were the first people? The first people to lose their land that God had given them? Adam and Eve, you're exactly right.
Oh, yeah.
And how did they lose it?
I disobey.
I gave you one order. One little order. Don't mess with the tree. And they messed up. All right. True or false? True or false? The promised land was a gift from God. True. True. Very good. What is a sabbatical year?
The 7th.
It's the year off where they go farm the land.
Exactly. It's the 7th year. And the land just lays dormant. Right? It just lays dormant. And what do we do during that sabbatical? What were they supposed to do during that sabbatical year? How did they sustain themselves?
Take them to the land.
Yeah, whatever was on the land, they were free to eat. Now, did that require much faith? Yes. It required a lot of faith. The promise that Israel would possess the land forever was conditional. True or false? Ronnie says false. True. No, true. It's true. The land was conditional. What was the condition?
Obey the laws.
Pay your taxes?
Keep the covenant.
How could the Israelites inherit the land? Remember, for them to get the promised land, they had to go through Canaanites. Canaanites were no easy pushover, right? They were big, mean, and ugly. So,
They had to trust and obey God.
and what did God say he was going to do?
He was going to drive them home.
He was going to drive them out, right? Okay. Last quiz question. What does the promised land and the fulfillment of the promised land, how is it correlated to our salvation?
It's a gift of God.
It's a gift of God. It's conditional.
Yeah.
What is the condition?
Love God with all your heart.
No God.
Obedience.
Well,
Have faith, obey.
well, at that time, physically, that's my opinion. At that time, the Israelites should conquer the nations. They had to do something. It was not like they have to just receive the gift and do nothing. They have to still do their part in order to get that land.
Right.
But for us, I believe it's that we need to work out in our own character. We need to grow. We need to be, I guess, fitted to live in
If you were to tell somebody about salvation, would you just go, you don't have to do anything? Yes or no? You're talking to somebody on the street, you go, for salvation, you just have to say I'm saved.
No.
Is that the end of the story? Is that the end of the story or the beginning of the story?
You repent, you turn from the old way to the new way.
And it's kind of like the first chapter, not the last chapter, right? Okay, very good. All right, so that's it for today. Excellent discussion, good fun by everybody. We'll close with the word of prayer. Thank you, Lord, for letting all of us together share in your story of the promised land, the Canaanites and the Israelites having faith to take over the land, obey you and have faith. May that message resonate with us as we the property of faith, because we need that same ability to have faith, no idols, and trust in you. Be with us now as we go into this second service. In Jesus' name, amen.